Space friend, I don't know about you, but I'm feeling a little nostalgic for home these days. I've been wondering what the weather is like back there, so I decided to write a Python program that fetches weather data from the Open Weather app. This will get us practice with using APIs. API stands for Application Programming Interface. In simple terms, an API is kind of like a menu at a restaurant. Imagine you're at a restaurant and you want to order food. You don't need to know how to cook the food yourself or how the kitchen works, you just need to know what options are available and how to place the order. Similarly, in the world of software, an API is like a menu provided by a program or a service. It lists all the functions, commands, and data formats that the program or service offers. Developers can use the API to interact with the program or service without needing to know its internal workings. Just like a restaurant menu, an API provides a list of options that developers can use to interact with a program or service. These options might include commands to retrieve data, perform actions, or configure settings. When a developer wants to use one of the options listed in the API, they make an order by sending a request to the program or service. This request is known as an API call. The program or service that provides the API is like the kitchen in a restaurant. It takes the order, or API call, processes it, and returns the result. The result of the API call is like the food you receive from the kitchen. It could be data that the program or service retrieves for you, or it could be an action that it performs based on your request. APIs allow different software systems to communicate and work together, just like how a restaurant's menu allows customers to order food regardless of who's in the kitchen cooking it. Import Request imports the request module, which is a library for making HTTP requests. It allows the script to interact with the web servers. Then we define a function called getWeather that takes the parameters API key and city. Base URL defines the base URL for the Open Weather Map API. Next, we create a dictionary called params, which contains the query parameters to be sent along with the API request. A dictionary in Python is defined with curly braces and key-value pairs. For example, Q is the key and city is the value. The response variable sends a GET request to the Open Weather Map API using the request.get function. It includes the base URL and the params dictionary as query parameters. The if statement checks if the HTTP response code is 200, which means that it was successful. If that's the case, then each line in this if statement extracts information from the response. The else part of the if statement prints a failure to fetch weather data if the response code is not 200. Next, we define a function named main, which serves as the entry point of the script. The API key variable is using a placeholder string. You need to get an API key from the Open Weather Map website and replace it here. I'll include a link in the description to the website. Just sign up for an account and get your API key from the accounts page. The city variable takes user input to enter the name of the city. Then we call the getWeather function with API key and city as the arguments to fetch and display the weather data for the specified city. If name equals main, checks if the script is being run directly instead of being imported as a module, and then calls the main function if that's the case, thus executing the main functionality of the script. So it turns out you can make an API call from all the way across the galaxy. I hope that doesn't mean that people from Earth can track my stolen ship. API. Can't think about APIs without singing that RBI softball chant. Do you know I was really good at softball as a kid? And then Brittany hit me in the elbow and I was too scared to ever play again. Hey, you better look at me, I'm a monkey in a tree, ah-ooga, ah-ooga.